Hello and welcome to this, my first video blog. I'm very excited. My name is Lucas Simmons. Let me tell you a bit about me. I am the gal behind Good Food and You. And my whole bent is on emphasizing the importance of good whole foods prepared in traditional ways, bringing in a fermenty good fun for good measure, and making it all doable because we all eat every day. The foods we put down the hatch are going to bring us health if we choose wisely. So this is my approach to things. And so for today, the first video blog that I am posting up, I would like to introduce the lovely Malcolm Saunders, who's here with me on my back patio. Thank you, Malcolm, for coming.
Hey, thanks for inviting me.
So good. It's a nice Sunday morning.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
What is going on with Alberta right now?
Oh, I'm loving it. Soaking up the sun. It's so great.
Vitamin D. Bring it, bring it.
Yeah.
So Malcolm is one of the owners, yes, of the Light Cellar. Fantastic shop based in Bowness in the northwest of Calgary here. And I have invited Malcolm over this morning to talk about ferments and to talk about, give us a little bit of a background on what is the Light Cellar and what's your mission behind it?
Okay, the mission of the Light Cellar is to nourish a culture of awakened living. That's our purpose. That's why we exist. And it all started from my own journey of food and nutrition, just trying to figure it out. Because like many of us, I wasn't given any nutritional training. I mean, Canada Food Guide is about all you're given, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
As you're raised. And then we also have this experience in our culture and society with this disconnect from our old traditions, our heritage. My mother's Scottish, so you can imagine the type of cuisine we had in the home, as well as lots of processed foods, packaged foods. I mean, my favorite food growing up was cereal. I love cereal. Lucky Charms, Fruit Loops, and every once in a while, like the healthy brown cereals, like Corn Bran and Shreddies.
Because why not?
Yes. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I turned 16, I decided to become a vegetarian. And at that time, it had nothing to do with health. It was just because I thought it was more environmentally friendly, etc. And thus began my journey with trying to figure out how to feed and nourish myself. And it's been a long one. It's been an interesting one. And it's ever unfolding, tuning into one's body and the seasons and the changes. But there's certain fundamental principles, practices that we can all incorporate, like fermented foods, that I've become familiar with and very passionate about. So the Light Cellar is an extension of that journey, not only the skills and the tools and the nutritional knowledge that I've gained, but then also access to a number of different foods. And that's kind of how the Light Cellar started and evolved. And I think it was over probably about 15 years that I was a vegetarian until I finally realized I shouldn't be a vegetarian.
What made that decision for you?
My body. Yeah, just listening to my body and trying to figure out, what works for me. Nutritionally. And yeah.
So tell me about the role ferments play for you in your life.
Okay. I mean, probably first and foremost, what you guys can connect to is the flavor, right?
Oh my God.
The flavor of fermented foods. Yeah. There's so many things that you probably aren't even aware of that are in fact fermented that you might enjoy on a daily basis. Chocolate being one is actually a fermented food.
That brings me so much joy.
Coffee, tea, beer, wine, these things obviously are.
Coffee and tea are fermented.
Yeah, they are as well.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, so the whole world of ferments is out there to explore. And I think one of the biggest things culturally in our society where we've kind of gone off, we've gone wrong. It's like, how do we end up in a society of, there's that saying, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
We're overfed, yet we're undernourished. Like, what has happened?
Yeah.
And I think it's the industrialization of our food system.
Yeah.
Right? We've not only have we lost connections to cultural traditions, but yet a lot of those foods that were staples a part of our diet have been commercialized and industrialized. We've taken them from small scale to large scale. Now, fortunately, again, there is that movement back. As the saying goes, from Wall Street to Main Street. There is that movement from the supermarket to the farmer's market. And with fermented foods, sure, we mentioned, coffee is, chocolate is, wine and beer are. But again, these things, even things like sauerkraut, what a lot of people have access to are products that have been industrially made, like large scale, most oftentimes pasteurized. So the benefits are less than if one had created it themselves.
Why are the benefits less? Let's speak to that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the misnomers. Some people say, but I buy sauerkraut. I eat sauerkraut. My grandmother cans sauerkraut every year. Why would that version have less nourishment, let's say, than the one that is a raw, unpasteurized version?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first, if we talk about that industrialization, one of the biggest problems is scale, right? So, how is this food grown or raised? And when I got into this idea of being a vegetarian, I had all these reasons of why it was better for you, right? But a lot of it, those arguments were based on, again, the industrial economy. When you look at meat or dairy coming out of that system, absolutely horrible for you, right? Because of the way it's grown, the way it's raised, the food it's fed. So first and foremost, that quality, if you're getting your milk to make kefir, for instance, just from the general supermarket, where it's been pasteurized, homogenized, been fed grains, so just fundamentally the nutrition is off.
But the animals are not fed what they were meant to be fed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they're having to digest food that is not supposed to be food for them.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's one big part of it. But let's say, for instance, cabbage is cabbage. We'll say the cabbage is equal, whether regardless of what system it's come from. We're going to bring it home. We're going to create it ourselves. Now we've created that connection with the food, with our own home. We're going to create it, process it in our own kitchen, and the cabbage itself will have microorganisms on it. So, within life, even your garden here, as I look out on it, full of microorganisms, these little bacteria.
That's what soil is.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what is the health of that soil, and what is the health of those microorganisms? Because we're going to take that into our home, into our kitchen, and we're going to culture them. We're going to allow them to grow and to flourish. And then when we can consume the product of that, they're then going to come into our bodies and help us with our own health. We have a symbiotic relationship with these bacteria. And a lot of people don't know that, in fact, for every one cell that is you, Luca, or you, the listener at home, you have 9 cells, 10, of microorganisms.
I'd also heard that on your hand, there's more bacteria on your hand than there are people in the world.
Whoa.
And that is not a bad thing.
No.
To be clear, that is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Why would we want the good balance of good bacteria?
Well, I mean, when I first started getting into health, nutrition, one of these kind of terms I heard a lot was candida, right? You probably heard that. And this is the idea of an imbalance of the bad bacteria, that can create dysbiosis in the gut, digestive issues, etc. So we do have some bad bacteria within us, but we also have very good positive bacteria. And it's about maintaining that balance, one which favors, the good bacteria, and they help support our immune system. They help support good, healthy digestion, brain balance. I mean, it's amazing. This whole frontier of bacteria, we've come, again, from this culture and society that's, anti-microbe, right? Everything's got to be antibacterial.
I know.
We're, obsessed about sterilization. And
clean is good, but come on.
Yeah, and absolutely. There are, harmful bacteria, harmful microbes out there that we need to be aware of and cautious of.
Yes.
But there's far more good bacteria that we need to be in healthy relationship with. And that, to me, first comes through fermented foods. Getting comfortable with, growing bacteria. And it's as simple as creating your own yogurt, creating your own sauerkraut. You develop that relationship. Like you say, it's about food preservation, and then nutrient, expansion, right, and multiplication. So you take something, a raw food, be it milk, be it cabbage, and adding those bacteria, they just multiply the nutrition in there. So I'm all about superfoods, this idea of foods that are nutrient dense, that have an overabundance of exceptional high quality and value of nutrition. Because I think, again, in our day and age, we need to get more. And we're eating a lot that has very little nutrition. High amount of calories, very low amount of nutrition. How do we flip that equation? How do we get lots of nutrition with just less calories?
Yeah.
And fermented foods are a big part of that.
Fermented foods are a big part of a good, healthy regime, too. Anybody and everybody, if you have a digestive system, fermented foods are good for you. I like to say. Because a lot of people say, well, but I don't need it because I don't have blah, blah. Well, actually, if you have a digestive system, I think fermented foods would be very beneficial to you.
Yeah.
In terms of bringing on health and increasing health and vitality, actually.
Yeah.
So speaking of fermented foods, we have a big event happening this coming weekend in Calgary. Very excited about this.
Yeah.
And the Light Cellar spearheading this fantastic festival Tell me about the Friendly Ferments Festival that's happening.
All right. Okay. Well, first of all, it is a festival because
Mhm.
we want to make this fun. We want to make this approachable for you to come to deeply immerse yourself in the world of fermentation. And what better way to do it than a festival?
Yeah.
So we've also got to kind of be the focal point of that. Internationally known speaker, writer. It took about a year and a half to book him to come to Calgary.
That was going to be one of my questions. Is he hard to track down
He
and to pin down?
is. Yeah, he literally travels all around the world. He's written a number of books. This one you might recognize. It's called The Art of Fermentation. One prior to this was called Wild Fermentation. And I know these books have been very influential to the community of, the growing community of fermenteurs as people get into the world of fermentation. Sandor Katz is one person they look to for guidance. And he calls himself a fermentation revivalist.
I love that.
Yeah, isn't that exciting?
So there's video around of him, and there he is in his kitchen, and he's just stuffing the cabbage, and he's talking, and I want to hang out with him and make him a big old bowl of soup.
For sure.
And
So
just visit.
he's got a very nice, pleasant character, very soft demeanor, and highly intelligent and very, very knowledgeable. So it's going to be very exciting to have him here, bring him to Calgary.
Is he doing both? Because I know there's a Friday night event and there's a full Saturday.
Yeah.
Is he part of both days of celebration?
Yeah, exactly. So Friday night it's kind of like imagine a wine and cheese, but we're calling it bubbles and brine. So
I like that.
we're going to have fermented beverages, kombucha that you'll be able to sample. We'll have ginger bug, again, another naturally fermented soda-like drink. And we're going to have grass-fed cheese. We're going to have cashew cheese. We're going to have sourdough bread, pickles, beet kvass, all these wonderful things to taste, to get an experience of them right then and there while we listen to Sandor.
And this is all fermented food?
Yeah, all fermented food. Yeah, so
Yes.
you'll definitely have gotten your probiotics for the day coming to that event.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that's Friday night, and Sandor is doing a talk. He's doing a presentation.
Right. Yeah.
Does he have a topic, or what kinds of things?
Yeah, he's going to be talking about the flavors of fermentation. Okay. This is one of the benefits that I think is the most easily accessible, the most easy to kind of sell anyone. Like, why would you consume fermented foods? Mm-hmm. It's the flavor, and the whole world of fermented foods is so diverse. We've already mentioned coffee. We could start pulling out all kinds of other weird things, which sometimes take a little bit used to. You have to acquire a taste. Natto is another one, right? Yeah. But the flavors are just absolutely profound and very, very diverse. So he'll be talking about the flavors of fermentation. And of course, I'm sure the health benefits, some history. So that'll be Friday night.
Very cool. Tell us about Saturday. What's happening Saturday?
All right. Saturday, it's an all-day experience where Sandor will kick it off with a workshop. And so he's going to then begin to show you how to ferment, where to start, and the most easiest, simple of fermentations, which is culturing vegetables.
Excellent. So is this applicable to people who are just starting out as well as people who've been doing it for a while?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we wanted to make it appeal to the brand new newbie who maybe likely got dragged there, who's a little bit hesitant. Maybe
I'm not sorry.
You might be a little even scared of bacteria. Don't worry. Sandor's going to break it down. He's going to start with a method that in the thousands of years that humans have been doing this in all kinds of sanitary and unsanitary conditions, no one has ever gotten sick from this method of preparation.
I read, actually, in The Art of Fermentation that the gentleman who's the head of the FDA in the States says he will actually eat fermented food before he will eat fresh food, before he will even eat canned food.
Right.
Because fermented food is actually more shelf-stable and less prone to bringing on sickness or disease or being having like E. coli or different kinds of putrefying bacteria in it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen if you're fermenting properly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, great.
And it's easy to ferment properly. So Sandra's going to share that. So that'll be a good chunk of the morning. And then we're going to have a period where people can, as they arrive, they'll get a passport. And this is just kind of a fun play on the words of culturing, right? So you're going to get cultured as you come to this event.
Like that.
Yeah, so you'll get a passport, and then you're going to visit all the different booths of fermentation ambassadors, of which you're one.
I am.
Yeah, and I'll be setting up ones, and there's a number of other fermenteurs and experts from around Calgary and the community that will be sharing tastes, knowledge, and experience that you can come and you can get cultured.
Excellent. My personal booth is going to be preparing. I will have some water kefir prepared already, and people will be invited to do their flavoring for their second ferment. And water kefir, for those who don't know, is a homemade soda. Very, very easy to prepare, actually, and so yummy.
So good.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Great. So there'll be a few hands-on activities. Make your own carrot pickles, flavor your own water kefir, and create your own apple cider vinegar.
Oh, I love that.
So 3 hands-on that you'll walk away with those,
Yeah.
the knowledge and the actual thing in your hand to bring it home, let it sit on your counter, let it ferment, and lots of more experiences throughout the day. And then I'm going to give a little talk, and then Sandor will finish it off with another talk, another workshop, and he'll talk about how to ferment dairy, the history of it, where we fermented dairy, how we fermented dairy, as well as a little demonstration too.
Cool. Now, this is happening where?
Okay, so originally it was going to be the Bowness Community Hall, but now it is up at COP. They have a festival tent.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's perfect, actually, yeah. So
Yeah.
Saturday we'll be in the festival tent, and then Friday we'll be in one of their halls at the Wind Sports Center.
Okay.
So best to check thelightcellar.ca. There's a little tab, Friendly Ferments. Click on that. You'll find all the festival details, including how to purchase, which you can come to the shop. We're just in Bowness, or you can register online.
How many tickets do you have left?
There's just a few. With the venue change, we had to switch it up, so we've probably at this point got about 35 tickets left.
Okay.
So
So they're going fast. So
yeah.
there's a possibility there may be some at the door, but don't chance it, my friend. This is a fantastic opportunity. If it took you a year and a half to get Sandor Katz, I don't know if he's coming back for a couple of years or a decade, so get on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So thelightcellar.ca is where they'll find the details, including tickets
Yeah.
and where the venue is and everything that's involved with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this is the first part. I also want to talk about the follow-up series that the Light Cellar is putting on, because that's really intriguing to me. It's one of the beauties that I love about the Light Cellar is that you really bring community together, and you're really thoughtful about bringing in a bigger circle, making the circle bigger and bigger, and championing the local scene.
Yeah.
So tell me about the is it called the Get Cultured series?
It's actually called the Community Culture Series.
I'll see. I don't know. Community
Yeah,
Culture
you were
Series.
speaking right to it. So
Yeah.
and the idea was to bring the community together, so someone can experience over 5 Thursdays, 10 different instructors, 10 different recipes, 10 different viewpoints on fermentation. I mean, it's
So this
It's
is over
astounding.
and above the festival.
over and above. It's it's kind of like a follow-up to and
Okay.
further add-on. The Fermentation Festival is going to provide you with a deep, wonderful, immersive experience. Open and expand your mind, give it a taste to your palate. And then if you want to continue to go deeper, if you want to connect to who are the leaders in this community in regards to culturing and fermenting, this is an opportunity to get to know them, get to meet them, and learn from them.
Okay.
So it'll be 5 Thursdays following the festival. I believe it's the 22nd is the Thursday that it starts, and it'll go 5 Thursdays from then. 2 presenters per night. And the other thing I'm really actually excited about, very accessible. If someone purchases all series, it works out to like $14.90 a class.
That's doable.
Totally doable. So each session will be a window into a world. As you talk about Beet Kvass, I'm sure you're going to open up lots of practical applications, culinary applications, and health benefits.
Yeah. I know somebody's doing fermented meats.
Yeah, that's
Somebody's doing cultured dairy.
Yeah.
Kimchi. Is there kimchi class?
Kimchi, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what else there is.
Pickled carrots is another, and what else is there? Yeah, there's a whole list.
There's
It's on
lots.
the
It's on the
site.
website. Okay.
Yeah, but what we wanted was a diverse selection. 10-part series that really gives you the whole world of ferments.
A big gamut. So now, if people wanted to get tickets for this, can they get individual tickets, or should they get the full pass? How does that all work?
Yeah, so you can get individuals. Works per night. So if you can only make one Thursday, you just want to see Luca, come for that Thursday. You will get Luca and another presenter. So it's one evening, and but obviously the best is to come for it all.
Absolutely.
Even economically, way better value to come for all 5 Thursdays. So again, all the details are on thelightcellar.ca. Click the Friendly Ferments tab. From there, you've got the options to dive into the festival. You've got the options to dive into the Community Culture Series and explore from there.
Excellent. So we have a giveaway that we've planned that Malcolm very generously has offered here to our subscribers to Good Food and You. So what are we looking at here?
All right. So if you are subscribed to Luca's newsletter, she's going to pick one lucky winner to be able to come and attend all 5 Thursdays. This is a $149 value, care of the Light Cellar and Good Food and You.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm excited for you who might be winning and coming.
Yeah.
This is going to open up your world to the wonderful world of friendly ferments.
Fantastic. So obviously this is open to people who live in and around Calgary or are able to make it here to Calgary for those Thursday night sessions. So if you wanted to get in on this action and you wanted friends to get in on this action, I encourage you to forward on this link and share it with some of your friends. Put it on your social media sites and get the word out about this yummy, yummy thing that's happening so very soon here in Calgary, the Friendly Ferments Festival and the Community Culture Series. So this is this is like, and the timing of this cannot be better.
Yeah.
It seems to me like ferments, maybe it's because it's my world and my circle, but it seems to me like ferments are just really at the forefront of health research right now, specifically linking the health of your gut to just about every system in your body.
Yeah.
So kudos to the Light Cellar and to you guys for putting this on. And I know it's been a really big feat of
For sure.
bringing Sandor to town and
Yeah.
putting this whole thing together. So
Yeah, sometimes when I'm like, neck deep in the work, wondering like, why am I doing this? I just remembered, the benefits, the positivity of fermented foods, reclaiming, our food heritage, our food culture, and building that resiliency into not only ourselves individually, but our communities and our society.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, Malcolm.
Yeah, right on.
I'm glad you could come. And
Okay.
please check everything out online. Again, thelightcellar.ca. Thanks, Malcolm.
Okay.